look, okay? It's like, I'm thinking, if we can get hot here in the playoffs, we got a chance. If Joe gets hot here in the playoffs, we got a chance. We get our defensive guys back, we can start playing defense the way we're supposed to play it, we got a chance. So we go to play the Colts, we played the Bengals, we rested some guys, our guys played their hearts out, and then we go play the Bengals, or the Colts, and everybody's saying the Colts had all the, do you remember? They all know what? The mojo, yeah. The mojo. Colts got the mojo. That's what all the talking heads are saying. I'm like, what's mojo? I've heard of mojo. I told our team, they can have all the mojo they want, all right? They got to stand up in front of us, in front of the Ravens, and in front of what our team is about and what we're playing for. Oh, yeah, and Ray's going to be back, too. That's going to be pretty cool. That's going to help. Remember the thing he had on his elbow there, trying to catch that pass? We did make fun of him for that. Yep. And then he went out there and took this at the end of the game. Right? Then what did he do? He did the little, I can't do it. I'm not going to try to do it. I can't do it. Okay? What a moment. What a moment. Yeah, but there's a lot there, too, because Chuck Pagano was on the other side, okay? Chuck Pagano. Man, we loved. Our players loved. We love Chuck. He's one of us. Look what he accomplished. Look what his team had been through, all right? And he battled and beat cancer. Okay, throughout the course of the season. And there he was standing there. And you walk over and there's a hug. Okay? I mean, there's adversity. There's all kind of, there's so many strands being weaved together in our lives that just come together for the perfect will of God, that you just got to stand back and go, oh my. Whether you win or whether you lose, whether it's a year ago, whether it's this year. Okay, then we go to Denver, okay? There's no way we're going to beat Denver. I promise you. The coaches, the fans in Denver, they were everybody, and they should have been. They were a great football team. They were very confident before that game. And our guys walked out there, and it was cold. Stan was shivering before the game. For a good reason, right? It was below zero wind chill. And we were ready to play. And so we're back and forth in a battle. We punt a ball, and it blows all the way across the field. And that little guy, Trindon Holiday, goes like that. And it was a touchdown, just like that. We're okay. We can overcome this. Ray talked the night before about no weapon. Isaiah chapter 54, no weapon forged against us shall prevail. Okay, that was kind of the thing going into that game. So it's a weapon forged against us. It will not prevail. And then we're in a battle. We're in a dogfight back and forth. And we go in at halftime. I think it's 21-21, right? And we get in the locker room, and Ray calls the whole team up right at the end. He goes, I got something I need to say. And he recited probably 4 or 5 verses right around 54. It's toward the end of chapter 54. And all those verses right around, and he recites them. And he just said, no matter what, stay together. No weapon forged against us in the second half shall prevail. He didn't mention the 5th quarter or the 6th quarter. I asked him at the overtime, does that count? The overtime count in that? Yeah, we're covered. We're good. So we go out at halftime, and the ball gets kicked off, and we were supposed to squib it. Tucker, wherever you're at right now, it was supposed to be a squib kick, but that's okay. He lofts it right up in there. We'll cover it. And I heard Suggs back there. He wasn't quoting any scripture. So he says something along the lines of, so it's going to be this kind of game, all right? And basically whatever it takes, it's going to be all right. But our guys just fought, they just fought like crazy. And so it's 35-28 with 39 seconds left in the game on our own, 30-yard line or so. Flacco drops back the pass. He steps up. He scrambles to the right. He lets it fly. And I'm standing there on the sideline, and I'm like, what are you doing, Joe? All we need, I figure we get 2 completions. We get down within a little bit, the 30. We got a chance at the end zone. We got time for that, right? I know we had no timeouts, but we've been practicing this. There it goes. Then I just looked, and I saw the safety was out of position. And then all of a sudden the sideline starts moving out onto the field, so I got to move out of the field to see. And he catches it. And they fall down. And my thing fell off. Is this going to work? This going to work? I'll just use this right here. So So they like fell down, and he runs into the end zone. And Jacoby didn't dance. That was a miracle also. He didn't dance. He is Dancing with the Stars. I'm not real happy about it. Everybody said I was fine with it. I wasn't fine with it. I hope they knock him out in like the first round. Vote for somebody else. Let's go back to football. I saw him today. I think he'll be okay. He'll be fine. But and he can dance. So it's time. So now we're going into overtime. Okay, and it goes back and forth, back and forth. Next thing you know, we're on our own 3-yard line. Do you remember that? On our own 3-yard line. You saw the game, huh? It's 3rd and 13. I mean, and the wind's at their back. If we don't get this first down, we're going to punt another one up to Trenton Holiday, okay? And they're going to probably be in field goal range right away. And they're probably going to take a knee and have a chance to kick the field goal, get a couple plays down in there. All right, defense, let's go. Let's force a punt here, you know? And then Joe hits Dennis Pitta, Wade, hits him right up the seam. And Wade's coaching takes over. Dennis goes back shoulder, bam, makes the catch. And then we ran a couple plays. I don't know if we got another first down or not. And then that punt team runs out there. All right? The punt team that had given up the touchdown. The same bunch of guys that had given up the kickoff return. They go running on the field. I was confident. Really confident in those guys. And Sam just booms it. Right? 60 plus yards. Booms it. And then Jimmy Smith, okay? Jimmy Smith. God love Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith is going to be a great player. But Jimmy was not in a good place. Okay? He'd be the first to tell you for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Because he's coming off double sports hernia surgery. That's really painful. All right? And he was really mad because he wasn't playing corner, but he was playing special teams. He had to go out there and run 45 yards at a full sprint, cold. And it hurt. And he thought it wasn't helping his recovery. This is the week before the Denver game. He and I are in my office discussing this. Like two men. You know? And we came to an agreement. He was going to play special teams. Get out of here. And you're going to do it well. And he runs down there and makes that tackle inside the 10-yard line. Huh? And how well did he play in the Super Bowl? 2 weeks later, right? Yeah. That was not holding. Okay? Yeah. But, so he makes the play. All right, then Peyton completes a pass, I think, out to the seam, and then Paul Kruger flushes him out to our left, and Corey Graham is a great player, and Corey Graham makes the interception, and we're almost in field goal range, right? And it's still, now we're going into the wind at that point, and it's definitely getting below zero, and the wind's starting to pick up, and the field's like frozen solid. And then the quarter ends, all right? And then our kicking coach, Randy Brown, and our kicker run out there and practice the kick. That's okay. You're allowed to do that. I don't think you'll be allowed to do it next year. That's going to change probably. So somehow Ray Rice breaks free offensive line, and then he's just not going to quite get the first down. And here comes Marshall Yonder, right, just plowing in behind there. You're allowed to do that too. He pushes him across for the first down. We get a couple more plays, get about 5 more yards, and we are in field goal range. And there goes the rookie. And the field is pretty much sloppy and frozen. All right? And he goes out there and knocks that thing straight through. And I was arm in arm with Ray Rice. Anybody remember what I did with Ray at that point? You know, what a moment. What a moment. And that locker room afterwards was incredible. Steve Bisciotti sent a text. They actually sent a text. You probably saw it. He sent a text during the game about how proud he was of the team. And it wasn't contingent on winning and losing. See, that was what was so incredible. You know, that was. It's all interweaved in there. Somebody's going to figure this all out someday. It's all twined in there. It's not the outcome that we're talking about. It's the journey. It's the way you handle it. It's the way you handle one. It's the way you treat one another through all that. That's the victory, right? The victory's already been won. All right? In this room, we understand what that means. All right? The victory's already been won. All right? What's our role in this thing? What's our fight? You know? What's our job? What are we supposed to become? You know? The one true champion. Okay? The one true champion that we're meant to be, perhaps. That's what Fellowship of Christian Athletes is all about. All right? Helping people discover the meaning of life. All right? Why we are even here. If somebody's got a better explanation than Christianity, I haven't heard it yet. All right? And I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist. Matter of fact, I'm quite certain it doesn't exist. All right? Intellectually, it makes perfect sense if you think about it. If you really think about it, how else could it be? All right? You're going to tell me all this was created just out of that? That takes a little bit of faith to believe that. I don't have that faith. All right? Okay, so you try to figure all this stuff out, and now we're going back to New England. Wow. And we told the team, Jim Caldwell's idea. He had used it a couple years before, and I thought it was great. He said, tell them before the Denver game. Tell them if we beat Denver, we're going to the Super Bowl. I said, okay, I'll try it. Guys, if we beat Denver, we're going to the Super Bowl. All right, now we had to prove it. But you know what? I believed it. And every one of our guys believed it. Every one of our guys believed it. We were going to the Super Bowl. We just had one thing to take care of on the way. All right, it was up in Foxborough. We'd been there before. And that plane touches down on Saturday before the game, you know, and the buses pull up there, and you got into the buses, and it was, the days are long, but the year was short. That's what went through my mind. That was just yesterday when we pulled into that same airfield a year and got on those same buses and went to that same hotel to go to that same stadium. It was yesterday. But look how far we had come down the road that we were supposed to travel. Here we were, right back to that same crossroads. Are you kidding me? Who writes this stuff? You wouldn't believe it. If it was a movie, would you believe it? Would you believe the story of the Baltimore Ravens if it was on Disney? Remember the Titans and the Giants and all the little Giants and whatever? You know, I'm like, oh yeah, well yeah, I guess that's a great story, but that could never happen. I'm telling you, God writes the most amazing stories that could ever be. And here we were, and our guys knew it. Our guys just knew it. We were going to win that game. We go out there, and then Bill says, he goes, you know, well, maybe we should just skip the handshake after the game, you know. You know, he's a great guy. He's just got his way. He's his way of making sure that we have a good handshake after the game. So I'm like, oh, Coach, I don't know, man. Maybe we should. I think we can handle it. I think we'll both be okay. You know, I'm kind of saying, I'll be okay, Coach, if you win the game. I'm pretty sure he expected to win the game. In my mind, I'm thinking, are you going to be okay? Because I'm coming over to shake your hand. And he was brilliant. He was great. So yeah, so we're gonna get after these guys, okay? First half, Stan comes over. How's it going, Coach? What did you say? I can't remember your question. You know. Yeah.
He said, "You got to be pleased. You played this bad. And you're this close."
That's exactly what he said. You got to be pleased. You played this bad. It's this close. It was like a light bulb went off my head. I think that's the halftime speech right there. So we walk in at halftime, and our guys were legitimately really ticked off. They were ticked off at themselves, and they were ticked off at one another, and it was not the best locker room halftime we've had all year, all right? And I talked to Coach Caldwell at the end of the second quarter about opening it up a little bit. You know, we've been playing a pretty straight-laced, you know, kind of a field position game. We were not going to win that game that way, and he agreed, and Joe, I promise you, agreed, okay? So I walk over to the defensive guys first, Ed and Ray and those guys, and say, hey, we need to open this thing up on offense. And they were like, they just erupted. That's exactly what we need to do. Now, usually, these are the same guys who remember Mayor saying, run the ball, Coach. Run the ball. We'll get him stopped. You know? I mean, later in the game, if you've seen the FX, that's Ed Reed when he comes up and they cut all that out. That's what he was saying at the end of the game. I told you to run the ball. You know, we've got 3 and 9. We didn't run enough time off the clock. I got you, man. It'll be okay. So, but they wanted to go for it. They wanted to go for it, okay? It's not too big. Let's go after this thing. Went over to the offensive guys and the offensive linemen. They're kind of seething. You know, Joe's got his head down. Guys, we're cutting this thing loose. We're throwing it every snap if we have to. Joe, it's in your hands. Make plays for the guy. Protect him, will you please? They don't touch him in the second half. And they erupt and go crazy. And our team comes up, and Ray said something brilliant. I don't remember what it was. And we went out there and we shut them out. Our defense shuts them out in the second half, and we put, 250, 300 yards up in the second half. And we come back in that locker room, and Craig Versteeg had been talking about casting the crown at the feet of our Lord. Okay, he's guy's this prayer warrior, okay? And he'd been in prayer for months about this, and it was just, that was what he was moved to do. And it was like, all right, let's do this. All right, let's give honor and glory where it belongs. And there he goes, man. What a moment. What a moment that was. And all of our guys into it. All of our guys, you know, every place, this whole room, there's not one person in the same place faith-wise. All right? God's got a relationship with every single one of us. It's different, okay? Because it's unique, it's individual, it's one-on-one, right? Okay? And the players in the same way, we're all the what was it, 8 million, billion people on the planet now? We got a big God, don't we? Right? He's big enough to be in that locker room, man. And our guys, they felt it, you know, it was just, what a moment. And we're going to the Super Bowl. No, we're going to win the Super Bowl. That's what we're going to do, all right? And that's where our journey took us, to New Orleans. And then, you know, see the Whites down there 2 days before the game, and you both certain we were going to win the game. I had no doubt about it. My brother was certain they were going to win the game. I was certain we were going to win the game. My dad, my mom was in tears most of the week. My grandpa Joey's 97. He had the half and half hat, the Niners hat, the Ravens hat. He's like 5'4", you know. You know, Jim gets up there in the press conference and you got his good deal on. You know, he's got his fleece on, right? I mean, so like he wanted to make me look like the guy. I was the corporate guy or something. Wasn't ready to play. He was the guy ready to play. Do you remember the press conference on Friday? All right, when I did a real gracious talk about family, what did he say? Yeah, he said I concur. Concur? I don't even know what concur means. You know? I know he doesn't know what it means. We're falling apart up here. So, okay, this is great. You gotta see this. I'm getting the hook. All right. So then the lights go out. All right, that's the last thing I remember. Next thing I know, you know, Jimmy Smith is grabbing the heck out of that guy, and no flags are on the ground, and we're taking a safety, you know. And you talk about okay, leadership and guys that coach for you and work for you and confidence and things like that. You know, we're trying to figure out. Well, first of all, they're moving the ball right down the field. As my dad used to say, they were going through us like crap through a goose. Okay, we didn't have a lot of geese when we grew up, but I got a picture of that to this day in my head. That's how they were going through us, right? The ball gets down to the 5-yard line. The sideline is not happy about it. The earphones, the defensive coaches, Wade, you can vouch for this. It's pandemonium in the headsets, the defensive coaches. And then one of the coaches said to me, hey, we get him stopped here. We're the champs. Well, that's right. You know, and we're pretty good in the red zone, too. So I said, hey, get him stopped here. We're the champs. You know? You give me a good line, man. I can repeat it. So everybody got serious. And then the other thing I'd say to Coach Pease is, whatever you do, please, do not let them run it in. Don't let them run. Make them throw it in. So Dean calls a heavy run defense, and I think they ran it, and we stuffed them, if I remember right. Okay? Then he calls an all-out blitz, and we stopped them. They may have sprinted out or something. I haven't watched the game. I can't. Then we call a heavier all-out blitz called Twister, and I think that was a sprint out. And then we got some contained. He had to get rid of it. Then we call the all-out blitz that we got, the biggest blitz we got, called Cable. All right, we call Cable. We're bringing everybody. And Jimmy Smith grabbed a little cloth, and we stopped him. David Akers didn't get touched. Joe Flacco got hit 3 yards out of bounds. I don't want to hear any of that, okay? It wasn't about the officiating. I mentioned that to my brother at the combine. He didn't want to hear it either. So we didn't talk about it anymore, you know? So how's Mom doing? Yeah. But, you know, so that's my talk. You get your arms around it, and now life goes on, you know? And it's one of the moments that you dream about. And really if I was going to explain it in any one way, I'd say, you know, the journey continues, right? What's God got in store next, you know, in all of our lives? We'll lose guys, we'll add guys, you know, but we'll always have that championship now. Baltimore will always have that championship. Baltimore. Our fans are off the charts. Baltimore will always be the 2012 champions. We will rejoice in that. We take pride in that. We will give glory and honor where it belongs. Those of us who understand that forever, and that will never be taken away. It's not like boxing. You don't have to hand the belt over when you lose. The Lombardi Trophy, they make another Lombardi Trophy the next year. And we're going to be 100% rejoice in that. We're going to be 100% committed to what's in front of us and what we're doing next, okay? And you can do both. You can be 100% committed to your job and 100% committed to your family at the same time. Now, you can't be 100% committed to your job, your family, and running around doing all kind of other stuff, right? You got to decide what's important. It's taking care of your business and taking care of your family. And relationships is what counts. And Steve Bisciotti gave me the greatest advice ever. He said, treat each day at work like it's the first day on the job. Every day. And treat each day with your family like it is your last. It's all about people. It's all about relationships. It's all about building up people around you. It's all about finding somebody to help. You want to be successful in life? Find somebody to help. You want to be successful in life? Find a way to make somebody else better. If you're good in math, go put your arm. If you're a student, go put your arm around somebody. If you're good at your job at filling out your expense reports, and go find somebody that can't do it and help them fill out their expense report. Help somebody accomplish something. All right? The interesting thing about that, what the world does not understand, because that's a New Testament principle. Service, it's all opposite in the New Testament from how the world sees it. But the hard truth of the matter, if you have eyes, Jesus said, if you have eyes, then see. If you have ears, then hear. Loose quotation. I'm pretty sure it goes to something like that, right? All right? Then see it. You want to be successful in life? Just do that. That principle works because the creator of the universe set it up that way. Find somebody to help and see what happens in your own life. Quit trying to drive your success. All right? You have no success. Nothing belongs to us. Everything belongs to the creator above who made it all. All right? And he actually came down here and was one of us, okay? So, man. And then you walk away and you really don't really care about, like networking or what's this going to mean, or am I going to get the sale or whatever it might be. Are we going to get the win? Yeah, you care. It's important to you because you want to be your best. But you walk away, you're walking on cloud 9, right? You're 10 feet above the ground because you help somebody get something, especially if it's a little one, like your little league coach or something like that. All right? That's what it's all about. So, hey, you got any questions? We're supposed to do questions, Mark. Let's do one question, Mark. Can we do that? One question. Somebody raise their hand. Mark's like, no, we can't do any questions. Give me one question. Or somebody here close. Give me one question. Football question. One football question. You got one? You got it.
What did you say to that guy from New York?
What did I say to that guy from New York? It's not a football question. I said some things that I regretted, and I did apologize. I will say that, apologize, and I wasn't at my best. You know what? We all make mistakes. I will say this, though. Sometimes with the NFL, you have to show your teeth, okay? You have to show your teeth a little bit, but okay.
With Ray Lewis leaving,
Yes.
who do you think will be like the spiritual kind of team leader?
Who will be the spiritual team leader with Ray leaving? You know what? I don't know, but Ray he probably was the spiritual team leader, but Anquan, Torrey Smith, Ray Rice, some of our younger guys, Ed in his own way. We got 53 leaders. We probably have about 35 or so really strong Christians, maybe 30, maybe off the top of my head. Okay, I'm going to say off the top of my head, it seems like it's that many. They'll step up. God will decide, right? So, thanks for having me. Support FCA.
Now you know why he's going to have a statue. I mean, great job, John. We really appreciate that. On top of that, we had a very generous benefactor